This is Bazaar Morning Call, broadcasting live from the CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studios in Mumbai.
Good morning. You're with us here on a fresh new edition of Bazaar Morning Call. We are coming to you live from the CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. It was raining heavily till last evening. For any school-going kids who are watching us, I mean, hurrah, I guess, right? I mean, schools are, they got one more day of holiday. Schools in Mumbai are shut, but I mean, on a more serious note, be safe. There's a fair bit of waterlogging in a lot of areas, etc. I'm Prashant. With me, my colleagues Sonia and Nigel. Guys, hi, morning.
Morning. I don't think any school-going kids are going to be watching us. If they're getting a day off, they're going to be sleeping it out, right?
But indeed, but if the adults are, they're not going to work, then guys, just stay tuned to us. We'll do all the analysis for you.
And lots to do today, right? I mean, there's so many stocks in focus. There's, of course, Reliance and JFS post 9:30. There's HUL, Infosys that come out with numbers. And global markets have been pretty rock solid, so not too bad.
It's not bad at all, I mean, right? I mean, it's not been bad for a while. Markets looking pretty good. So let's just pick up from where we left off yesterday, and I'll quickly run you through what you need to know. So yesterday was another up day. And we've been kind of putting out these Bollinger Bands. I was just looking before I came in on what we put out day before yesterday, what we put out yesterday. And the momentum is so strong that in one day, you're basically getting to those levels. Yesterday looked quiet for the bulk of the day, but markets accelerated sharply in the last 40 minutes of trade. And, bulk of that acceleration came through in the Nifty. Bank Nifty was doing okay. It was up 0.5%. It ended about 0.5% higher. Mid caps and small caps ended, up as well. But the Nifty was sulking a little bit, but by close, that was corrected as well. So we left off on a pretty strong note once again. Now, overnight, you got U.S. markets, which ended higher. It was a more quieter session there. Not the 0.75 to 1% gain that we've become used to in the U.S. as well, but strong nevertheless, a quarter higher. The dollar index has moved up a little bit, so keep an eye out on this one. But the point is the dollar index fell from almost 104 to under 100, right? So there is perhaps a little bit of, and has been meandering just under this 100 level for some time, and we are now slightly above 100. But in any case, that's an important marker, so keep that in eye. Keep an eye on that. The U.S. 10-year yield is at about 3.74%, just in conjunction with where the dollar is. Now, as I said, because the markets have been moving and extending higher, the moving averages and consequently the Bollinger Bands are also extending. So the upper end of the daily Bollinger Band now stands at 19,960. We left off at 19,835. That's basically, so the upper end is, you can look at 19,960 or basically 20,000. That's the upside level that I think one needs to have in mind here as a reference point. On the Nifty Bank, what we saw yesterday was an inside bar, which means basically that the high and the low yesterday was within the high and low of day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, of course, we had a pretty large candle. Yesterday's high of 45,905 and the low at 45,281 will be important levels to kind of watch out for. If the lower level on the Nifty Bank, which is in some ways been the more vulnerable of the two sort of indices, if the lower end of the Nifty Bank breaks, which is 45,281, the next level would be 45,066. This is nothing but the 61.8% retracement of the recent rise that we saw, and that can be used as a bit of a positional support level. The big event, of course, which we will all be tracking, and I'll put out more details on this one in terms of how the mechanics will work out, is a demerger of Jio Financial Services out of Reliance Industries. So at 10 o'clock, you will basically know the price which the market is ascribing to Jio Financial Services, and of course what RIL is going to be trading at X this business, which is going to be quoted separately. Sonia.
Absolutely. So just, of course, this morning, the GIFT Nifty is indicating that the start will be mildly in the red, but some consolidation won't hurt anyone given the kind of cues that we've seen. This market has been exceptionally strong in the last many days, and the trend is definitely on the upside, although there are many, important cues to track. The global market setup has been very good. So the Dow, once again, 8th day running, the Dow has ended in the green. This is the longest winning streak that the Dow has seen since way back in September of 2019. So, we are not alone in this upward journey. But post-market hours, you had, in the US, you had Netflix that disappointed with its numbers. You had Tesla that disappointed with its numbers. In fact, Netflix shares were down 8% in after-hours trading. So just keep an eye out on the futures. There could be some pressure because of some disappointments coming in from these two. In our own markets, of course, record highs and 7th straight day of gains for our markets. Now, the Nifty, remember, has rallied 14% in just 3 months. So the run-up has been pretty steep. Some consolidation may be on the cards in the near future, given that we have important triggers like Infosys, HUL coming out with numbers as well. The buying continues from FII. So FI has bought over 1,100 crores in the cash markets yesterday. Almost 16,000 crores has come in the month of July alone. And, as Prashant was also pointing out, all eyes will be on that pre-opening call auction that happens with the GFS demerger later today. So 9 to 10 is when there will be price discovery. Then GFS will trade at a constant price, and Reliance Industries will settle at about 28.40 is the price of Reliance, minus the settlement price of GFS. Reliance will trade at that post 10 a.m. So we'll of course keep talking about that, but that will be the big headline of today. Apart from that, Infosys HUL numbers today, but there are also many in the broader market. So you have Coforge, Mphasis, Havels, Persistent, and these are important because a lot of the mid-cap IT pack has come back in a big way in the last many days. So let's see whether there's positive news flow from here. But otherwise, it's been a rock-solid market, just that today, maybe there could be some, a cooling off.
Well, that's right, Sonia. You got the 3 big numbers that came in from the United States post-market hours, Tesla, IBM, as well as Netflix, and all those 3 stocks were lower in after-hours trading. So will that be a reason for the US markets to take a bit of a pause? Well, time will tell. From our perspective, the dollar index has strengthened a little bit. It's moved up a little above that 100-odd mark, so just keep an eye out on that front. But no two ways about it. The Indian markets, we have been seeing a strong trend in the upward direction. And yesterday, in the last 30 minutes or so, you had ITC and Reliance Industries. Both of them spiked up. Both of them went to the high point of the day. And that was one of the reasons why, in fact, the Nifty as well did make a big move in the last 30 minutes or so. In terms of trade setup, well, today is July 20th. Just around 4 months or so ago, that was on 20th of March, we were 3,000 points lower. So in a span of around 4 months, you've seen a 3,000-point rally on the Nifty, telling you the kind of rally that we have seen. The Nifty Bank as well, if the Nifty was up 3,000 points, the Nifty Bank is up more than 6,500 points in this duration itself. Now the Nifty has its eyes set on the 20,000 odd mark, but the Nifty Bank could face some bit of resistance at around 46,000 odd. And over the weekend, you have 2 big numbers, that's ICICI Bank as well as Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now, Infosys, that stock will be interesting to see how it reacts tomorrow because the numbers will come towards the end of market hours or just post-market hours. It's up close to around 10% in the last 1 week. You'll see how much of the good news is in the price. But actually, Infosys is an underperformer. It's underperformed the IT index in 2023 itself by close to around 10%. You look at Infosys, you look at the IT index, Infosys is still lower year to date, while the IT index is up close to around 10%. So that's a 12% underperformance that you're seeing out there. If they deliver a good set of numbers, let's see how the stock reacts. But the street is going in with some expectations on this one itself. The FI as well, yesterday they added some short positioning. As I always say, it's not such a bad thing. But the encouraging part is they wrote puts, and they wrote puts very, very aggressively. More than 1 lakh put contracts were written. And the strike that was very, very active yesterday was the 19,800 put, added close to around 85 lakh shares. The premium out there was around 36 rupees, and the total open interest is more than 1 crore shares. Looking at individual strikes, the 19,750, the 19,700 levels out there, both of them come up for you. And the PCR, that's a 3 to 4 times all, telling you that the bulls, they believe they have this market in control. So in support levels for the day, since today's weekly expiry, 19,750, if you want to buy, you look to buy closer to around that mark. Yes, we're going to see a 30-point downtick. And the move towards 20,000 is well and truly on, but maybe taking some money off the table, closer to around 20,000 odd, in this vicinity of around 19,800, 20,000, may not be such a bad thing. SGX Nifty is indicating, or the GIFT Nifty is indicating, a bit of a pullback to kickstart things.
All right, that's the GIFT Nifty with a 30-point downtick this morning. Well, let's quickly tell you what's lined up here in the first 30 minutes of the show before we go any further. Rajat Bhattacharya of Stancy will be joining us to discuss the global setup. Our team at CNBC TV18 will get you the top 10 stocks for the day. At 8:30, Deepan Mehta will be joining in from Elixir Equities with a reaction to earnings which have come through post-markets yesterday and stocks that he wants to bet on.
Okay, so plenty happening in trade. But first up, as always, let's take you through some market opinion. On the equity side, you have Sanjay Mukim of JP Morgan who says they analyze 3 factors: earnings revision, valuation and price momentum trends for 80 customized industry clusters to identify potential mean reversion candidates in India. He says PSU banks, commercial vehicles, natural gas, upstream oil screened positively, while QSR, IT, aerospace, defense and durables appear to be at risk. He says in their India model portfolio, they add weight to Bank of Baroda, Tata Steel and GAIL and reduce SBI and Infosys. They add Cipla and Apollo Hospitals, while HDFC is removed from the portfolio on account of the merger with HDFC Bank. Sanjay says HDFC weight is adjusted to HDFC Bank.
Okay, let's get you some money market views as well. Parul Mithil Sinha of Standard Chartered Bank says that the USD INR has been consolidating in a tight range for several days now, even as FII inflows continue to provide strong tailwinds. She says the US dollar weakness remains a key theme, but US dollar purchases by local banks have prevented any major dip in the dollar INR. She expects the pair to trade between 81.75 to 82.25 over the next week, adding that FOMC decision and statement next week will be an important monitorable.
All right, and on the bonds, Parul says the domestic markets continue the move lower post soft CPI print in the US. She expects the India 10-year benchmark bond yield to trade in a range of 7 to 7.15% amidst unfavorable near-term demand-supply dynamics. She says the key drivers would be movements in global yields, oil prices and domestic food prices. Next week is heavy on central bank meetings and hence rates are likely to remain range-bound till then, she adds.
Well, we have a lot of stock-specific action that we're going to be tracking for you. We'll get to that in just a bit from now, but let's run you through our top 10 list. Tata Communications, we have Canfin Homes, L&T Finance Holdings, Federal Bank, Hudson Agro, Finolex Industries, and Dr. Reddy's. Well, they are stocks which will be reacting to positive news flow. On the flip side, you have Shree Cement, Krishna Diagnostics, and Electra Green Tech that could be reacting to negative news flow.